Layton.
Here.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't have any report. City administrator.
Well, on anything too specific, budget committee and the special meetings were last week, so those got submitted to the state for both the airport and the city budgets, and then also to the county.
STEP has completed its migration and testing for next generation 911. So we're working on that.
2023. Agenda approval, claims, consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Well,
Yeah, we'll have to do the voice stuff because our is not working. So we go Holly.
Yay.
Buckminster.
Yeah.
Yay.
Wisdom. Layton.
Yes.
Motion carries.
under old business, discussion. Under old business, discussion and action. Second reading of ordinance 2023-20 increases in rural water district 2.
All right, I'll do the reading. Ordinance number 2023-103, an ordinance to amend section 2, subsection B, paragraph G of ordinance 2022-107 to correct the effective date of rate increases for Richardson County Rural Water 2 from 21st Street. For everybody that wasn't here last time, we met. This is a cleanup for the rates schedule, the water rates November from 23 to 24 to 25, need to actually be 23 to 24 for that. So we could potentially, if we wanted to go through the third reading, or we could do a suspension of the rules and adopt this now if we want to.
I was going to ask if we could suspend the third reading, or yeah, just 3 readings and then finally.
Yep, it'd
Okay.
just be a motion to suspend the rules and move to final reading.
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right.
Roll vote.
Holly,
Yes.
Buckminster,
Yes.
Rod,
Yes.
Wisdom.
Yes.
Okay. Ferguson,
Yes.
Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Layton.
Yes.
Motion carries with the supermajority. So we entertain a motion to accept the final reading of the ordinance 2023-102. I guess I need to technically read it again. Final reading, ordinance number 2023-103, an ordinance to 2 Street. Now I'll entertain a motion to accept the final reading.
Motion made.
Second.
All right, so good vote. Holly,
Yes.
Buckminster,
Yes.
Rod,
Yes.
Wisdom, Ferguson,
Yes.
Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Layton.
Yes.
All right, third reading carries.
Under regular business, discussion and action, review of the FY 2023-24 insurance renewal premiums for the city general and board of public works.
All right, I'll kind of give a breakdown of this. This was probably, or the insurance is already budgeted into the cycle. However, typically we like to get this done prior to, but we didn't have the rates until about a week before final budget. So we have this kind of breakdown. Essentially, we had it bid out for 3 years, so we just can do a renewal. But essentially, we'll bring it before the board to approve the renewal on that piece. Essentially, we're looking at about a 15% increase overall from 22-23 fiscal year to 23-24 fiscal year. We had some loss on some workers' comp, We obviously have a $1.5 million loss run on the Board of Public Works. However, for the machinery policy, that policy was locked in for 3 years. So we did not actually have an increase for boiler and machinery. However, Cincinnati does our property insurance, and property insurance took a significant jump, coincidentally.
Yeah, coincidentally.
with that. Board of Public Works has reviewed their stuff on that end, but we still have some data coming back because they were open to potentially looking at some some deductible changes overall that could potentially bring the premium down a little bit overall, but they did change up a bunch of the deductibles moving forward. Like I said, rate increase was about 15%, of which 11% of that goes to building value increases and replacement costs. Transmits to an overall 23% on the premium change. Wind hail deductible increase to $50,000. At location one. Location one is the power plant. And then a lot of the other buildings that are utility buildings go to us to 2% wind and hail deductible. Last year that was about a $25,000 deductible, and it was a per occurrence. Now it's going to be a per building moving forward. But they're willing to look at that, I guess, on that side of things. Other than that, everything else is basically the same. We did reach out to LARM last year to potentially look at getting some secondary numbers or getting this set up when we come up for renewal on bids. They were not willing to give us a number. They didn't want it last year. They about did this year, and then they kind of backed out of it last minute with where they're at. So we don't have anything from them. They knew what our premiums were. Obviously, that's public information. So they said, we're probably not going to be able to beat that and not get you the boiler and machinery policy that you currently have. I asked about boiler and machinery with Miller Farrell. Said, we're going to get this renewal this coming year. What's going to happen after that? Do we think it's going to be there or even be an option? To believe it'll be a renewal option for that. One of my thoughts was $1.5 million loss. They may just cut us out completely. So there's some things we need to potentially look at moving forward. We've had insurance significantly go up. Last year was 40%. This year's 23 overall, or 508 million, or 508, not million, for premiums between the city insurance plus Board of Public Works. So maybe some points where it's getting to a level where if you look at some self-insurance or something on that end. So maybe putting some feelers out and getting some data to come back before the board to look at before we get through the next renewal cycle. At least we'll have some additional information to look at. So any questions with that? With the deductible components, I can bring those back before the board to review those. I was going to have them kind of slot out, give us like 2 or 3 levels of what potentially savings is before it's no longer of a good value to us, or we could pass a motion, just give me the freedom to take care of it. Either way, it does not matter to me. Not cheap.
Well, the thing is, there's just not too many people writing that boiler stuff anymore. Am I correct?
No.
They had to shop
Most
it to
public
you.
works are self-insured on
Right.
their.
I remember last year with that big claim they were talking to us about. We had a 3-year thing, and after that it might be difficult. And there's just a lot of people not writing a lot of things anymore.
Correct. Biggest components, obviously, property insurance. We're
Yeah.
like 206,000 for Board of Public Works, and then another about 72,000 for property on.
Well,
the
that claim
city
at the
side.
power plant, that was an anomaly. I think.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big rarity right there.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't have anything like that now that it's fixed. I'll make an motion to approve
Second.
the premiums and renewals.
Or do you want me to bring back?
No, it's all right. Why don't you just go ahead and deal with it?
Okay. Like I say, just,
more time going back and forth, trying to get approval, and I think we can trust you to make the right decisions.
all right, so I'll be approve the renewal rates and provides city administrator with authority to negotiate the deductibles. All right, Layden was the second?
Yep.
On that, correct? Okay. Holly,
Yes.
Buckminster,
Yes.
Rod?
Yes.
Wisdom, Ferguson?
Yes.
Ratcliffe?
Yes.
Layden?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Number 2, discussion and action. Review of the ICS deposit agreement with the city general fund.
We'll have Trent come up and talk about it here in a second. This came up, Trent brought this to our attention a while back. Or the city's got, multiple, accounts open for housing board, for general fund, for payrolls, all these. When we move into our new software environment that we're setting up now, those are gonna go to a pooled cash environment. So essentially 2 pooled cash, one will be the utility side and one will be the general government side. So essentially all goes into one account, and we'll have a control within the system of who owns, what funds within that. With that is this kind of CDARS components that Trent can talk about. And essentially, we can get some investment back on those funds that we need to have fluid, throughout the management of those funds. But that don't need, long-term investment, and get quite a better rate overall. So, Trent, you mind coming
Come up here, or
Yeah, don't mind. Just come up, introduce yourself.
Trent Scheidel here with Frontier Bank. I think most of you know me. As Anthony said, people come to us for these pooled accounts, usually for one of 2 reasons. One, they're larger deposit customers, they want to get FDIC insurance coverage. With the city of Falls City being a public fund, that's not a problem because we have to match securities with the pledge against your funds anyway. So that's not a problem. Number 2 is less maintenance. As Anthony just said, he has a plethora of accounts scattered across different financial institutions, and he's trying to consolidate some things with the new software. So I told him that an option could be this ICS service, IntraFi Cash Service. You see IntraFi Cash Service, ICS, on typically the checking money market side, and the CDARS service more on the CD side of things. So as your CDs start to come due this year, that makes something to talk about as well. A couple things, it's a pooled fund, and we pay a better interest rate on it. So I want to make note that in this rising interest rate environment, those pooled funds can be quite lucrative. And the bank wants to thank the council for their willingness to keep funds invested locally. So thank you all for that in the past. With that being said, we are offering a better rate on these pooled funds. It does cost us 12.5 basis points to enter into these agreements, but we feel like it is still worthwhile to maintain the higher deposit customers like the city of Falls City, and many public funds that carry some pretty heavy deposit balances. So we are, with the city's current deposit level at the bank, we are offering a 3.25% rate on this pooled fund. Another item of use would be that it would save a lot of time on Anthony and his staff's perspective from us. If we sell a security or buy a security that we're matching, we've got to get with them and they've got to release the security or pledge it, and that would all go away. So essentially, this IntraFi acts as our custodian, and what they do is every night they ship out any balances in excess of $250,000, which is the FDIC insurance threshold, to other participating institutions. All those institutions would then pledge up to $250,000 and then send that money back our way. So he and his team are still getting one statement, one fund every month that says how much, here's your deposits, here's your withdrawals, etc. But you're under the FDIC insurance threshold, and you don't have to pledge security. So all in all, just a nice relationship builder for the bank and the customer, and again, something we were willing to pay a higher rate on. So that is the consensus we came to when we talked about it, and there was an agreement that is 12 or 13 pages long. I did want to note that we can add as many as we'd like. We did add F&N Bank and American National Bank as institutions on here that we would not participate with because we do carry some balances with those banks as well.
So like we said, this is the city side of our funds. So everything that's currently at Frontier would remain at Frontier, and whatever sitting at F&M would still remain at F&M. Like our utility check-ins at F&M, that's gonna get pooled in all into one. I think there may be, so I think sewer may be at Frontier, and that would be jumped over to F&M, and out of that environment into that new pooled cash environment at F&M. But the city gov side then would be at Frontier. Our other proprietary funds, our enterprise funds at the airport, the CRA, and then the utilities will remain at F&M.
Probably what, 20 some accounts that we consolidated into a couple.
Yeah, we got 42 accounts or something right now.
I know this isn't cities, obviously, but we can eliminate Bank of China, can't we? That's gotta. I saw that, I'm like, well, that's not it. At least keep it America.
Okay.
Hmm.
Anybody got any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. We'll talk more tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
All right, take a vote. Holly,
Yes.
Buckminster? Yes. Rod?
Yes.
Wisdom?
Yes.
Ferguson?
Yes.
Ratcliffe?
Yes.
Layden?
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
Number 3, discussion and action, request for a special designated liquor license for a wedding reception at Churches Auditorium on December 16th, 2023.
Motion to approve. Second.
Vote.
All right. Holly,
Yes.
Buckminster?
Yes.
Rod?
Yes.
Wisdom?
Yes.
Ferguson?
Yes.
Ratcliffe?
Yes.
Layden?
Yeah.
Motion carries.
Number 4, discussion and action, request to use Stone Street on November 24th, 2023 from 15th to 18th Street for a lighted Christmas parade and to block off street parking on the 15 to 1700 blocks of Stone Street between 8 and 5 p.m. Falls City Chairman.
We've been doing this the last couple of years with the parade aspect added to Santa arriving at the mini park. Just for everyone's safety, and so that the visibility is better for those 2 blocks or 3 blocks, not to have parking. Before, I think last year, we didn't get the barricades out in time, and so there was cars parked and kids were trying to run out in between them, and it was just kind of a hazard. We insure this event though in case something would happen or go awry, but so it turned out to be a nice little addition to the holiday season here.
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
All right, take a vote. Holly,
Yes.
Buckminster?
Yes.
Rod?
Yes.
Wisdom?
Yeah.
Ferguson?
Yes.
Ratcliffe?
Yes.
Layden?
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
Number 5, discussion and action, review projects number 004, 007, 010, 012, 017, and 019 for the 2020 owner occupied rehabilitation program as recommended by the Housing Board.
All right, Housing Board met last week, so our newly appointed Housing Board this year, that was their first meeting, kind of do the kickoff and got things moving along. This is the 2020 OOR grant program that we've had going since August 2020. That's the one that kicked us out of expenditures, with tossed us out of DTR last year, which we then got that expended down so we could get the DTR grant application in this year. Right now, these 10 projects take that from, that was a $450,000 grant, they'll take it down to about 250. That's left 250,000 on that. We'll actually have a public hearing on the October 16th meeting to actually discuss that, because we'll end up in November needing to do an extension request on that to get the rest of that expended down within that time frame. But we did an outreach and we had like 35 applicants when we did an outreach. So we have enough actually to pretty much expend the grants with what we have currently, probably a few left over when it comes down to it. So we got plenty of applications and process to do. We just gotta have them, get them bid out and have SIN do their thing to get it expended out.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I'll take a vote. Holly,
Yes.
Buckminster,
Yes.
Rod,
Yes.
Wisdom, Ferguson,
Yes.
Ratcliffe,
Yeah.
Layden.
Yep.
All right. Motion carries.
End of the agenda. Adjourned.